Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia, but you can call me Leah. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the pattern drafting for how I made this lovely cottage core dress. So if this is something you're interested in, keep on watching and let's get into it. So the line I drew is a starting line. From the starting line, I will take the bust point measurement plus ½ inch sewing allowance. My bust point is 10 plus ½ inch, that's 10.5. Then I'll take my under bust plus ½ inch, then tummy, which is 16. Then I will repeat the same measurements on the other side and connect them into a straight line. Next, I will take half of my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16, half is 8. And then from that point 8, I will come down by 1 inch. Then I will take my neck width, which is 4. So from point 4 to that point 1 down, as you can see, connect a line which forms your shoulder slope. From the shoulder slope, we will come down by half of my armhole. My armhole is 16, so half is 8. From point 8, we will connect and form a straight line. Then we will form another line underneath. Now the next thing we are going to do is to take my bust circumference, divide it into 4. My bust circumference is 34. Divided into 4 will be 8.5, which I have marked. Next, I will come up from that point 8.5 by 1 inch. Then at that point 1 inch, I would come in by 0.9. Next, I'm going to take the midpoint of this armhole, which is 4. So I would mark point 4 and then come out by 0.5. So this is the first point we need, second point we need, and third point we need. I don't really need this armhole for this style, but I just want to use this as a template just to get what I'm trying to draft. Next, we take the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 on the bust line, under bust line, and tummy line, and then connect them to form a straight line. Then we will take the midpoint of the shoulder slope. The shoulder slope is 4.1, midpoint is 2.1. Then at the midpoint we mark it and connect it to the bust line, that line now that we've made at the bust line, like so. Now this is called the center front and the side front. On the center front, at the under bust side of the center front, mark ½ inch and repeat the same ½ inch for the tummy. Then at the side front, mark the same ½ inch on the under bust line, and on the tummy ½ inch. Connect them with your ruler to form a straight line. I'm using a marker because I want to show you where I will cut from when I'm cutting. Then we are going to come down on the bust line by 1 inch. Then we'll use our armhole curve to connect that 1 inch to the ½ inch, as like so. Next, we are going to take the neckline, and I'm using 7.5. Like I said, I won't be making use of this armhole because my neckline is going to be just a straight neckline. So on the center front side of the neckline, come in by 1 inch, and on the side front side, come in by 0.9 inch. Then you will connect it to the bust line, like so, with your marker. So this has actually formed for us how our breast is going to sit into this bustier. That is why it's called a bustier. That is where the breast is going to sit. So we'll go ahead and start taking our vertical measurements, starting with the bust circumference. My bust is 34, so divided by 4 will be 8.5. So we will mark 8.5. Then we would take our under bust measurement divided by 4. My under bust is 28, divided by 4 is 7. Then we would return this half an inch we took on both sides, that is 1 inch, and we would add it, as you can see. Then we would do the same for the tummy circumference, dividing it by 4. Mine is 27 and a half, so half of it will be 6 and a half. Then we will return that same 1 inch, that is half on the side front side and half on the center front side. So now we're going to connect everything with a pattern master. Please take note of the side of the pattern master that I am using to connect these dots, and that is because our body is not straight, our bodies are curved. Next, we'll start adding our 2-inch sewing allowances, starting from the neckline to the bust line, the under bust line, the tummy, all 2-inch sewing allowance, and we're going to connect it with the pattern master. So I've also gone ahead to label it the center front and the side front to make it easy for us to identify. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the front pattern and use it to mark out the back pattern. So as you can see, I am not going to pieces up the bustier because I want to use it to mark out the back pattern. I'm just going to cut off that neckline side, which we don't really need because we are making a strapless dress. For the back pattern, I've already made my starting line. Then I'm going to measure this front pattern, and I have 8.5. So now I'm going to mark that 8.5 as the length of my back pattern. There is no need to give 16 because we've already made our cuttings. So I'm just going to mark that 8.5 at the other side as well, and then connect them together to form a straight line. Then I'm going to take 1.5 inch all the way from the starting line down to the end, as you can see. Next, I'm going to take 0.5 inch from the starting line down, and as we progress, I'll show you the reason for this. Next, we are going to take the front pattern and place it on top of this back pattern and then trace it out using our marker. So for beginner friendly purpose, I've also gone ahead to take the 2-inch sewing allowance that I took in the front. I'm just trying to mark the line for it so that beginners can be able to understand. Next, we will come up from the top by the nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4, and we are going to take it all the way down, and we would connect it to form a straight line. This will make way for the back dart. When we have connected the straight line, we are going to take 0.5 inch on both sides of that straight line. So this is going to form where we are going to stitch for our darts for the back. Then on the zipper, we are going to take the midpoint of the zipper line. Then we would mark it. Then from there, we are going to come in by 1 inch. As you see me do, just watch what my hand is doing. At the top, we'll come in by 0.5 inch. At the bottom, we will come in by 0.5 inch. Now you would notice that here I'm making use of a hip curve, and that is because of how I'm going to connect these 3 dots together. The purpose of this is not for us to have any form of bulkiness in the zipper. It allows the zip to fit into your body. So these shaded parts are the parts that I'm going to cut off. Like I said, the reason I added this second line, which is the 0.5 inch line, is because of that shaded part I'm going to remove, so that at the end of the day we still have 1.5 inches after we have removed that shaded part. So now I'm going to cut off the back pattern. So watch closely here how I'm dividing the pattern into two from that area. Then I'm going to label it this side as the center back and the other side as the side back. Then I'm just going to finish up the cutting. As you can see, I'm cutting out that shaded part. So let's return to the front pattern. So these parts that I am shading are the parts that I'm going to cut off, and so I'm just going to start piecing the pattern. That armhole side, remember I told you that I will not be cutting out my armhole because I'm not making use of it for this particular style of dress. I'm making use of a straight neckline, straight armhole, straight everything. So just watch what I'm doing so that you can see how I am piecing this front pattern. So there we go. These are the front patterns that I'm going to be making use of. So in my next video, we'll be cutting and stitching this dress. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.